I've always loved that little cabin on Clearwater Lake. My father bought it back in 1978, and I inherited it when he passed about 8 years ago. It wasn't much, just a modest 2-bedroom structure with a wraparound porch, a dock, and enough space to watch the sunset over the water with a cold drink in hand. Every summer, my wife and I would spend a month there, and some weekends throughout the year. It was our sanctuary, pure and simple. The lake community is small, maybe 200 properties scattered around the shoreline. We'd never had any real problems. Neighbors looked out for each other. Kids would run between properties. The local church held a summer picnic right on the community beach. It was the kind of place you'd move to if you wanted to escape the chaos of the modern world. Then Eleanor Mitchell joined the HOA board about 3 years ago. Then everything changed. I should have seen it coming when she started showing up at the lake more often. I noticed her taking pictures of people's docks. I watched her measure tree stumps. One afternoon, I saw her actually pacing off the distance from my cabin to the property line with what looked like a surveying tool. But I figured she was just being thorough, maybe trying to enforce some reasonable standards. I didn't think much of it. The first summer after she became board president, I decided to do some overdue maintenance on my cabin. The roof needed fresh stain. The dock was getting a little weathered, and I wanted to add a small, covered sitting area off the back porch, nothing major. Just a covered structure about 8 feet by 12 feet. I'd hired a contractor, pulled the necessary permits from the county, and had all my paperwork in order. The county building official reviewed the plans, signed off on everything, and gave me the green light. 2 weeks into the project, everything came to a complete halt. I was outside at 7 in the morning, coffee in hand, watching the contractor set the foundation posts for the sitting area, when I saw Eleanor marching up my dock like she owned the place. She wasn't alone either. She had a manila folder tucked under her arm and a look in her face that told me I was going to like what came next. "Stop all work immediately," she announced, not even bothering with a good morning. "This structure violates multiple HOA covenants, and you haven't received architectural approval from the board." My contractor, Rick, looked at me. I looked at her. "Eleanor, I have county permits. Everything's approved." "County permits don't matter," she said coolly, pulling papers from her folder. "HOA regulations supersede county authority. You need board approval, and you're not getting it without modifying your plans significantly." She handed me 2 official-looking notices. They'd been posted to the property, one on my front door, one on the dock. They were dated that morning. They stated that unauthorized construction was taking place in violation of HOA Article 7, Section Trace, regarding exterior alterations and architectural standards. Rick looked at me. "Boss, what do you want me to do?" "Stop work for now," I told him, trying to stay calm. Inside, I was fuming. Over the next week, I did something I should have done from the beginning. I read every single word of the HOA documentation. And what I found was interesting. Yes, there was an Article 7, Section 3, that covered exterior alterations, but there was also something Eleanor seemed to have conveniently forgotten to mention. A 1998 amendment that specifically exempted structures under 200 square feet if they had been approved by the county building official. My sitting area was 96 square feet. I called the county building official, a woman named Patricia, who had been doing her job for 25 years. I explained the situation to her, and I could hear the sigh on the other end of the line. "Let me guess," Patricia said. "HOA president thinks she can override county permits." "That's about the size of it," I admitted. "Give me a couple of days," she said. "I'm going to document something for you." 2 days later, Patricia showed up at my lake cabin. She reviewed the notices Eleanor had posted, examined the plans, checked my permits, and then pulled out her official county letterhead. She typed up a statement, a formal one, confirming that my covered sitting area had been properly permitted, that it met all county building codes and setback requirements, and that pursuant to the 1998 HOA amendment on file with the county structures of this size and type with county approval were exempt from RCOA architectural review. She signed it, stamped it, and gave me a copy with a knowing smile. "Good luck," she said. "I have a feeling you're going to need this." The next morning, I sent Eleanor a certified letter, along with Patricia's official statement. I also included a note from my attorney. ID finally called, one explaining that attempting to block a property owner from exercising their legal rights could constitute harassment and might expose the HOA to liability. The attorney suggested that the HOA president review the 1998 amendment before taking further action. Eleanor didn't respond for 3 days. Then she showed up at my door, and the look on her face had completely changed. Gone was the righteous indignation. Instead, she looked flustered. "I've reviewed the situation," she said stiffly, "and the board has determined that your project falls within the exemption parameters outlined in the 1998 amendment. We withdraw our objection." That was about as close to an apology as I was going to get from Eleanor Mitchell. Work resumed the next day. Rick and his crew finished the sitting area in just over a week. It turned out beautiful cedar posts, a shingled roof, plenty of ventilation. My wife and I sat out there that first evening with our usual drinks, watching the sun set over Clearwater Lake, and I couldn't help but smile. We'd earned this little victory fair and square. You know what happened after that? A few other neighbors approached me quietly, asking how I'd handled Eleanor. Turned out, she'd been sending them notices too. One neighbor got a citation for painting his dock without approval. Another was told his garden boxes violated the landscape aesthetic standards. Once word got around that Eleanor could be challenged and overruled, everything changed. At the next annual meeting, Eleanor's position on the board was voted down. A nice fellow named Dennis took over, and suddenly, the HOA started functioning the way it was supposed to, with reasonable guidelines, not arbitrary control. The lesson here is one I've learned over 60-some years of living. Just because someone has a title and official-looking notices doesn't mean they have the authority to stop you from your legal rights. The HOA president isn't judge and jury. County permits exist for a reason. And if someone tries to bully you into backing down, stand your ground, know your legal rights, and don't be afraid to push back. Eleanor and I don't chat much these days. We're cordial enough when we run into each other at the boat launch. But the days of her running roughshod over the lake community are long over. Sometimes the quiet ones, the ones who know their rights and are willing to defend them respectfully, end up teaching the biggest lessons. If you've enjoyed this story and found some truth in it, we'd love to hear from you. Please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more real-life stories that matter. And before we wrap up, we'd love to know, where are you watching from today? Drop a comment and let us know what state or region you're in. We've got viewers all across the country with incredible stories of their own, and we'd love to connect with you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.